Okay, guys, welcome everyone that is joining or that you are watching the replay. I'm going to start because I don't have much time and I do have a long list of Aries idols. Today is going to be dedicated to Aries idols. I'm doing this today because today here in my country it's a national holiday. So yeah, I'm taking my chance to do this now that I have a bit of free time. But yeah, I'm going to do the readings. I'm going to focus on doing the readings so this, stays recorded and you can watch it when you have time, when you're available, and when you want to. So yes, I'm going to start right away. This is Aries season readings for Aries idols. Just like the Aries season that we are in now, everything is fast. Everything it's like instant. Everything is like now. I have time now, so it's going to be like this. So yes, I'm going to focus on the readings, on delivering them as fast as possible, and also get into their energy to see what's available for them. I'm going to start with Aespa Karina. Let's see how Aries season is doing for her. Okay, for Aespa Karina, we have the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Tower, we have the King of Swords in the middle, we have the Ace of Cups, and we have the Seven of Wands. And then I have a Moon in Leo. It says appreciation. So definitely, I think that there's something going on with this King of Swords in the middle. This is someone important. This is someone that is like, could it be that there's someone that wants to date her, or they want to get her on a date, or they want to get close to her? I think that there's someone just very very spontaneous and honest, I would say, very straightforward, probably a bit older than her, that he is like pursuing her. He is in the middle of her reading. And it does feel like romantic, but I think that there's something about this that she's probably resisting these advances, or she's resisting his offer, or she's resisting him. But he's important because he's in the middle. So, it feels like he has nothing to lose. He's like, I'm going to shut my chances with her. But yeah, about Karina, Nine of Pentacles, the Tower, I think that for her, it's a bit, she is a bit like traumatized about, probably about relationships, or about someone, wanting something to do with her, especially because, she's so afraid of losing her independency. She's so afraid of losing her status, or maybe losing her work. I think that it's not so much about her position in the group. It's about her individuality and about her independence, and probably that, for someone like Karina, her appearance, or maybe, what she does individually, she has a lot of impact. She's very resourceful. She's very talented. She's very wanted. She's very rich. She's very abundant, and she's so proud of this. So I think that when there's someone like somehow that wants to get close to her, she feels a bit like, oh no, this is going to destroy what I have been working for, and I'm afraid. and I don't want this. And I feel like the poor girl is traumatized by maybe dating rumors, dating news. I think that she also, just like now we are talking about Aries season, she fears so much to lose her identity when she is maybe, you know, somehow related to someone, because I think that this man is probably someone that is very famous himself, or it's very, powerful himself. So it does seem that she attracts a certain kind of man that um at some point is good, I would say. Is good, because it's like, it's not that it's a nobody, it's someone that he's like, I got what it takes to be her man, but probably she's like, I just like the song that they have, I am a rich man, I am a rich man. So I think that for her, she's so afraid of losing her stability, maybe losing fans, maybe losing job opportunities. She's so fearful of this, and probably also losing herself in a relationship. Maybe she is a romantic inside, and she's like, I don't want to get attached to someone because I will lose myself, and I don't want this. But I think that there's something about this man that he is just, I don't know if he's going to say something like online, or he's going to say something in an interview. He's going to somehow, maybe talk about her, and people are going to start like, like, oh my God, like, I think the rumors are going to start flying. But yeah, we have the Ace of Wands and we have the Seven of Wands. So I think that there's, maybe he also could go from the different route of, let's work together, or can you participate in this with me, somehow to open something artistic or something that is work related. But I think that she will put a lot of resistance to this, or maybe if she will deny something, she will deny it. But yeah, I think that she will have her resistances. I wish I could tell you something more about her work and something like this, but I don't see it here. I just think that this man is important, and I need to say it. But yeah, Moon in Leo, appreciation. She is very appreciated. She is very, and it's sort of, it does good to her ego, to her pride, to be this wanted. Maybe there's a part of her that she's like, I kind of like it, that, a person like this, is that they, I don't know, they said that they love me, or they say that they love my work, or they say that I'm their bias. There's a part of her that she's like, I kind of like the attention, And I think that the Moon in Leo appreciation, Karina is magnificent. There's something about her that, at least for this year, and maybe the years after this, she's always going to be wanted. She's always going to be the center of attention, even when she doesn't want to. So I would say, like, publicity is publicity, so don't feel pressure. But I think that there's a fear of her losing. I wonder if she did lose recently certain, like, individual deals, because she comes from this sort of like ending of her individual activities, or something changed about, I don't know, maybe she was working with a brand and somehow this stopped. So I think that she feels a bit unstable about opportunities. She feels a bit like, oh my God, like this that I thought that I had saved, that this was safe for me, now I don't have it, or there's something that is changing. Or maybe the company is like, no, you're not going to go and do the promo, or you're not going to go and work for them, or yeah, in this show that you were participating, you are not going to go there anymore. This is like the last time that you will be attending. So I think that she feels a bit, a bit unstable about career opportunities. So, somehow having this is like, I don't want drama. I don't want drama. I want to have, my job. But yeah, it's very comprehensible, I would say, because it must be tough, for her, and also to know who to trust. It's difficult, especially for a woman in the industry. It must be difficult. It must not be that flattering as people think. That, oh my God, this man has a crush on you. Oh, you're so lucky. And she's like, it's not that. It's not like that for me. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to continue with Riize Anton. Let's see, Aries season for him. It's nice. I like it. Okay. The Chariot for Anton, High Priestess, the Fool in the middle, King of Pentacles, and we have Queen of Swords. Is he going to collab with someone? And we have Jupiter in Virgo, patience. So yeah, he has to be very patient. I think that he's looking forward to a new era. There's something that is about to unfold about his career, or maybe his individual endeavors or his career. There's something that is cooking. Could it be a solo? Could it be another work? But yeah, it's, because we have the Chariot and we have the High Priestess. So definitely it shows that, Anton individually himself is slowly advancing in his career, in his life. It's just that there's a part of him that maybe he's been asked to not say anything, or to act mysterious, or to not reveal that much of himself, or to not talk that much about his achievements. There's something about, like, Anton, keep it private, or keeping it on the low. Just don't show off that much. Or I think that there's something about Anton that it also reflects a lot Aries energy, that, probably when he's doing well, he's someone that he's very spontaneous, and probably he's very honest. So he probably would love to talk about the things that he's doing well, or the things that he's working on, or his goals for the future, because he's advancing. So, but I think that maybe the strategy of the company is to keep him and maybe another members a bit, like mysterious, like, do not share this with the fans. If you want to communicate with the fans, if you want to reach out to the fans, there's certain things that you shouldn't talk about. And this is for the sake of the group. I think that probably for Riize, maybe the strategy, or the not the concept, but I think that the strategy is to, it's like, you guys keep advancing, you will have your reward at the end, but just don't show off. Don't talk about things that, is not, you don't have, there's no place for you to talk about this. You shouldn't mention this. Just, keep going, keep advancing, but don't show off. Don't say too much, don't show it, like, even like enthusiasm about your career or your path, because probably there's a lot of people that want to take advantage of this, or they want to take his words, out of context. So they are like, don't show, just, show your progress with actions, let people see that you and the guys are advancing, but don't say anything. Yeah, because he feels so excited, Aries season, probably from now till the end of this year, it's all about new beginnings. It's all about him maybe having a chance, or putting his face on doing something different, on doing something unexpected, like maybe starting like a role or an activity that it's very different to what he usually does. Sorry. So I think that there's he's taking a leap of faith. There's something about him like, okay, here I go. here I go. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm excited, So, and I think that is individual. It's not about, the other members. Yeah, because I have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So maybe these two people are going to be working with him. This is like two very well experienced people. But this could also represent him and another female idol or actress that he could be working with this person, and this person can help him, get to this level of King of Pentacles, like, oh, I'm stable, I'm rich, I'm prosperous, I'm abundant, or I'm very hardworking, and I'm the best at what I do. So I think that is going to be a nice combo, a nice duo. It's going to, lift up. Both of them are going to be like lift up when it comes to fame, recognition, maybe showing more maturity. But yeah, this could also represent two people working with him or by his side, and that they have a lot of experience. But I think that is going to be a great project for him. Great. But yeah, Jupiter in Virgo, patience. So see the cards, with the High Priestess, and and we have the Fool in the middle. So definitely, he is someone that he could, just because he's so young and he's so excited, or he's so, authentic, he can be like a bit of a fool in the sense that he can act, recklessly, or just, show too much excitement. Maybe spill the tea when he doesn't have to. So there's something about like maybe people being like, calm down, this is going to be your year, but just, relax a bit. But yeah, patience, and also patience. Just, keep working, keep advancing, keep showing up, and do your part. Be mindful, concentrate on what you're doing, but also be patient. Like, don't expect to start right away and expect, sorry, to just, learn to run before you talk. I don't know what I have this here. It's like a fly. Sorry. But so I don't want to touch it because I have the phone. I don't know what is it. Is it like a moth? What? But yeah, patience for him is going to take a while. It's not like it's going to be like a hit right away, but he has a lot of learning to do. Definitely. I don't know what is it. Maybe it's because of the light. Sorry, guys. I'm still in summer. We do have, I don't want to say like this is a fly, but it's like a kind of mosquito, tiny mosquito. Okay, I'm going to continue with Blackpink Lisa. Let's see how Aries season is going for her. A lot of fire. A lot of fire. Probably Tauro season is going to. Is she going to release something soon, like a new album, like a new series or something? Because it feels fancy. It feels like it's coming now. So yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Why can I get rid of this? Okay, for Lisa, 9 of Cups. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands in the middle. We have the 4 of Wands. We have the Wheel of Fortune. A lot of movement, excitement, and this is very Aries. And we have, from the Oracle, we have Sun in Taurus, acquisition. Sorry for my pronunciation, guys. So I think that, yeah, there's a lot of investment here. It's going to be fancy. Could it be that she's going to buy something important, or that she's going to buy a house or another house if she doesn't have it? But I think that she's moving very fast. Her energy is like, I'm already on my way. I'm already on my way. This year is my year. And the good thing about this reading for Lisa is that she's getting exactly what she wants. Whatever she created is like, this is what I wanted to create, or this is what I wanted to achieve for myself. So it feels like a very passionate, strong kind of project for her. It's like, it's got everything that I wanted. What I wanted to include is included. What I wanted to achieve, I achieved it. So I feel like this is me. This is a representation of me, and this is my baby. This is like, I think that she's so proud. She's so proud, and she cannot wait to show people. In the middle we have the Knight of Wands. So I see her just rushing to to I don't want to say to catch up, because I feel like she's like, the moment is now. And I have to release it now. For her, it feels very instinctive, like the moment is now. The time is now, or the atmosphere is right for me to do this now. So I see her just very fast, communicating, releasing things, or maybe traveling even. There's a lot of movement. And it's going to be amazing, because we have the Four of Wands and we have the Wheel of Fortune. So it seems like it's going to be a huge celebration. I think that this year for Blackpink members, it feels like a whole celebration. It feels like this is a very fun year. This is a year where they are advancing, and I think that there's a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of like, yeah, I will go where I want to go, and I will do what I want to do, and I don't care. I don't care about the others. I don't care about what people say. I don't think that Lisa is the kind of person that she's like, oh my God, what are people saying? No. But I think that there's a lot of bravery from her part. There's a lot of like, I'm taking risks, and I love this. This is what I want to be. And she wants to have fun. She's going public with everything. If she has to promote, she's traveling, she's showing up, you're going to see her. So it's not like, oh no, this is secret. I'm just showing my face in this MV, and then I'm going to be gone. No, she's like, you're going to see me socialite with a lot of people. And probably, yeah, this is going to be a great project, but maybe she's going to advance very soon to another one. So you can expect more from her. There's going to be a lot. so yes, because she's like, she cannot wait to release this so she can release the other one. So it's full of excitement. It's full like now. It has to be immediate. She cannot wait. But yeah, Sun in Taurus acquisition. Yeah, she's very greedy about acquiring possibilities, acquiring maybe winning, even if she has the possibility to win something, if she has the possibility to acquire something, to buy something, to sign up for something. She's like, yeah, I want it and I will have it. So it's so Lisa. It's so exciting. Nobody's stopping her. I love it. Thank you for her energy, because it feels like she hyped me up. It's like, whoa, like a lot of energy, a lot of like, I have no regrets. I do what I want, and I don't waste time. I don't make people waste their time. I deliver. Just like my readings. Okay. I'm going to continue with Twice Mina. is a bit confused. Mina is a bit confused. Two of Swords for Mina of Twice, Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, sorry. The Fool in the middle, we have the Chariot, and we have the Knight of Swords. And then we have, Mars in Aries, in impulsiveness. So she is she is confused about certain things. Maybe there are certain things about her life that she's like, sometimes she has a bit of upside downs in her mood or in her perception of reality. But nevertheless, with this Mars, impulsiveness, I think that she is definitely a warrior. She's going to continue doing what she does. But, the Two of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, it shows a bit of confusion, a bit of, I'm feeling a bit lost about what is success. Am I being successful? Am I achieving something with this? I think that sometimes, success can be elusive to her, and even when she does have it, maybe she feels like, I'm numb. I don't feel anything. Like, I feel the same if we lose something, and if we gain something, I feel the same. Like, I'm not that connected. But probably she's also like, she probably is losing a bit of ambition. She's like, I just go with the flow. I just do my part. And probably she's like sometimes, disconnect because, I don't know what success is anymore. And probably, this can be maybe about, the company or about the treatment towards them or towards her, that she's like, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly or not, because it doesn't reflect on my paycheck or it doesn't reflect on the feedback. So sometimes I'm like, it's very elusive for me. I feel a bit lost. I am confused about my achievements. Is odd, but it's all in her mind, But probably the company has something to do with this, obviously. We have the Fool, just like Anton from Riize, he got the Fool. So yes, Aries season for Mina is going to be, an opportunity to also just, go wild, just feel, I think that for some Aries, or maybe people that have a strong Aries placements, Aries season, it feels like this is the real January the 1st. This feels for them like the year is just beginning. This is January the 1st for us. We are starting the year now. It feels like this is the New Year's for them. It feels like this is like the mark of the beginning of the year, and their energy probably is unlocking finally. So I think that she's going to, have like a new beginning. She's probably going to get rid of that confusion, and she's going to take more chances. She's going to take also a leap of faith, maybe deciding to do something different or choosing something different from what people maybe know her for. And she's like, I'm adventuring myself because I know I had been a bit lost, or I had been a bit like, she needs motivation. I think that for an Aries person, she realizes that the impulsivity is within her, the fire is within her, but there's certain, conditions. I don't know if it's her mind or if it's her upbringing, that sometimes she feels so disconnected from this desire of her, but with the Fool in the middle, there's a potential of her getting rid of all the restrictions and confusion, and just being like, I will be free, and I will start over, and I will just do me, and I don't care what people say. She's going to advance anyway. There's going to be maybe her advancing with activities, or her advancing with having a vacation herself, or traveling, or she's advancing physically. But we have the Knight of Swords. So I wonder if does she have like a stalker, or does she have like a hater, or someone that is like very much against her advancing? I think that she does have, I could be a fan even, because the Knight of Swords is giving me like people talking also. Someone online criticizing her or being like, what are you doing? This is not for you, or you shouldn't go that way. I think that she's going to advance maybe with something new, and people are going to criticize this advance. So, this is why she has it tough sometimes, because she's like, well, if I don't move, you guys criticize. And if I move, you guys come after me as well. So there's something about just people just not wanting her to maybe advance, move on, or just be different from what she usually is. They want her somehow stuck in that, I don't know if there's people that somehow they glorify that, when she is confused and a bit lost, people are like, oh, she's so cute when she's like this, and she's like, but no, I actually want to feel alive. I want to do more. I want to risk more. And you guys don't let me. So it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, Mars in Aries, impulsiveness. She could advance to doing something risky that people consider risky, maybe getting new friends or going to a place where they're like, what is she doing there? Or maybe she's with a crowd or with a group of people that, that maybe the audience is like, oh, she shouldn't be there because, that's not her style. But I think that she's going to rebel. She's going to rebel. So yeah, wait for this. Wait for Mina to rebel, because she's moving because she wants to feel something. She wants that impulse in her Aries energy to unlock. She's tired of, living in confusion. She's tired of that. And I think that people should just let her be, and not. I think that people sometimes they want to keep her inside a box, where, they find it cute that she feels like she's lost, or that she feels like she needs others in order to advance, and she's like, no, we're talking about an Aries woman, she can exude independence. She can connect with that fire inside herself. And she can also be reckless, and just make wild decisions, and that's okay. She's learning. Okay, I'm going to continue with NCT Dream Renjun. Let's see, Renjun. Okay, for Renjun, we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Seven of Cups in the middle. We have the Two of Cups. And we have Temperance. And then I have Saturn in Taurus, ostentation. So definitely people just look at June and they're like, oh my God, what is he wearing? Or did he buy something new? Because he's going to continue buying and consuming and just having things, stuff, fancy stuff. This is Taurus energy. So, Saturn in Taurus, ostentation. He probably comes from a heritage of people with money, could it be? But yeah, he's going to enjoy of this very much. What he ostentates or what he shows off is not coming from a Sam pocket. No, it's from his pocket. There's a lot of seeing it from Renjun's perspective. There's a lot of disagreements in NCT Dream. There's a lot of fights, a lot of competitiveness. At least he feels it like this, and I think that well, he is in Aries, and I believe that he's not the only fire sign in the group, but there's something about him, in this group, him representing this, this sort of like energy that just he senses conflict and he points out at the conflict. Maybe there are certain members that they are like a bit in denial and and they probably start arguments or they start something, and then they throw the rock and they hide their hands, and he's like, I know what you did right there. You wanted to create chaos. You wanted to fight with me, or you wanted to fight with this person, so I'm standing up for that person, or I'm calling you out. So he's very sharp. He's very sharp because he's an Aries. He knows conflict. He knows, the dynamics of aggression. He's like, I recognize that you are, you're attacking me right now. So I understand. I see it. Even if you try to disguise it, like, oh, I'm just being honest, or I just want to help you. He's like, no, you want to attack me. I know it. Yeah, I think that there's probably there's a bit of there's a bit of competitiveness when it comes to maybe how Renjun is maybe working, or the way he's advancing in the group dynamic. I see the Knight of Pentacles, so definitely he is consistent in his work or the way he works in the group. It's just that maybe, the group is very chaotic and competitive, and there's moments where they are looking at everyone's energy and they're like, you're going a bit slow. And he's like, but I'm doing my part. I'm doing my work. Yeah, probably my pace is a bit slow, but I'm steady, or I'm stable. I'm getting there. Maybe he's a bit slow, or there's something about maybe he's, I don't know what they expect of him, that he is continuing, improving, or he's continuing this process. But in comparison to the others are very chaotic, or they are just a bit, I would say, a bit paranoid about, like, no, we have to go faster, or we have to do this faster, and you have to adapt to this. And he's like, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And eventually he does do a great job. But maybe there's something about them, asking him to be faster. And he's like, I'm just going to do me. I do what I can with what I have. I'm moving at the pace that I'm moving, and I'm advancing, and I'm getting things done. So get out of my way. But yeah, there's something about them looking at each other and be like, it's your fault. You mess up in there. Or they are always like, always, it was you. So he's like, don't come at me. Be thankful that I'm showing up for work. Be thankful that I'm doing my part. Be thankful that I'm still here. So appreciate me more. Yeah, the Seven of Cups. I think that yes, probably Renjun's energy, it feels like a bit Pisces still, like he is still a bit, a bit distracted in the clouds. Maybe he daydreams a lot, or maybe his mind is still very much, in dreams, literally, or maybe he fantasizes a lot, while he is, he's not fully present, but he's also someone that he's reviewing his possibilities. He's someone that he's like planning for his future, or maybe he's like considering another ways of work, or another ways of creating something for himself. So it's not that he's just like, oh, I'm just, I don't know, I'm floating. My mind is in the clouds, I'm in Jupiter. I don't know, I'm not present. No, he's reviewing his options. He has possibilities, or he has plans, or he has options. Some of them may be dreams, or maybe fantasies, but maybe in between all of those, there's possibilities. So maybe he's thinking ahead. He's like, what if I do this? Or what if I buy this and I sell this, and then with this I buy this? I think that he it feels very intuitive. Yes, like maybe people are like, what are you talking about? That sounds very delulu. But there's something that it could come up really good for him. But also probably he's evading reality. Maybe he doesn't like the reality that he's living. So he's like, I'm thinking about my future. I'm thinking about a reality where I could be happier, because I'm not happier here. Yeah, and then we have the Two of Cups and we have the Temperance. So I could see, Renjun probably in the next months, he's going to get better. We have the Temperance. So I think that if this is about his healing process or if this is about him getting better, definitely he will. And I think that the key to his healing or to him going back to be himself is other people, is relationships, is heart-to-heart relationships. I think that he needs to be with people that he feels like, they really appreciate me, or they really love me, or they really want me there, or they are really showing up for me. They show me that they love me. I want to feel the love. This is where the healing is. He wants to be with people that they are like, Renjun, I love you. I love the way you are. Let's meet. Let's see each other. But all from a very authentic, kind of, very loving, sweet, intimate, even kind of friendship, closeness. He's very emotional. He's a very emotional, and definitely, he needs the love. He needs the love to heal. He needs it. He needs authenticity. There's something about him. He's like, how I know that someone truly loves me? When I look at them in the eyes and I see reciprocity, and I see that they really care for me, and I see that they are true friends. He wants that, he wants that closeness. He wants that, maybe that connection where they don't talk that much, but when he looks at that person, he knows that that person really cares for him. So I think that this is why maybe, also the Two of Cups, the Temperance is also probably he gets along better with women or with people that are very soft in nature or that they are very emotional themselves, because he's tired of competitiveness. He's tired of being angry and or being provoked, I would say, because this line of work is very competitive. He has differences with the members. It's not because they have something against him. They are all under a lot of pressure, all of them, and this is work. So I can see, why he at some point he's like, I'm going to, instead of getting upset because I feel like no one gets me, I'm going to go towards another side of my life where I can make true connections and where I can get from there, the empathy, the understanding, the sweet love that I think that I deserve. And he also wants to love also, he wants to love or he wants to show love to others. So he's very sweet like this, It's just that sometimes he gets nervous. Sometimes he gets a bit, he's not that patient. He is very sharp himself, he's no angel. But I think that, it's part of his recovery. He still has, this 2026 is going to be a year for healing. But yeah, ostentation, Saturn, Saturn in Taurus. He probably has also rich friends, or he has friends that they have a lot of money. So he's like, I'm not lacking anything. I have it all. And he's going to show it off. So he's happy. He's happy. He's rebellious. He's a very rebellious person, but sensitive. He's rebellious but sensitive. Okay. I'm going to continue with Treasure Haruto. Are they having a comeback? Treasure? Or a concert? Two of Wands or Haruto, Knight of Cups, the Sun, Nine of Wands, Ace of Cups. And then we have Saturn in Cancer, Charity. Charity. He's going to shine a lot. If they have a comeback or if they have, an event or something that they're going to attend, he's going to shine a lot. is going to feel more playful, more showing a bit more of his very youthful, a bit childish attitude. But I think that people love to see that of him, when he's cute, or when he's just being himself and he's not like trying to look cool, I would say. People love it when he shows himself the way he is, with mistakes and everything. They love to see him raw, like, show me your true colors or your true personalities. So he's like, okay, here I go. It's going to be awkward, but this is me. Because he does have a strong presence, but he's also like a big child. I don't know why I want to say big, because probably he's tall, or there's something about him in comparison to others. Maybe he takes up a lot of space, so it makes things funnier, when he really loosens himself, when he loosens up. But yeah, I see him going somewhere. So I don't know. I feel like he's so excited for, maybe there's like a new beginning, a new era, a new comeback, a new concept. I think that definitely, the road is open for them. The plans are already being, put on march. There's something that is like, slowly moving, slowly advancing. So I think that he's so excited. Maybe he's excited to meet the fans again, or to see the fans, or to see his loved ones. There's something about him getting out of stagnation, I would say, and he's so excited for the future. He's so excited. But yeah, a lot of exposure also with the sun. He's a very magnetic person. He's a very magnetic man. So I think that him being in the center, or him being in the spotlight, is definitely, where he has to be. I think that there's a bit of contradiction. There's something about him somehow maybe not wanting all the eyes on himself. He feels a bit awkward, but actually there is where he shines the most. So there's something about authenticity, about him, maybe showing a more playful side of himself, allowing people to see you, to get to know you more. I think that people are very curious about him. And so he's like, okay, I will give people what they want. I will I will go out more, or I will show myself. And I will make a fool of myself, even if I have to entertain. I think that he's feeling happier. There's something about his energy just feeling more like, yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's been so long. I cannot wait. I'm excited. Yeah, Nine of Wands and Ace of Cups. See, he struggles a bit with people's love. He struggles a bit, or he doesn't know how to respond, maybe, to people's love, or expression of love and affection and admiration. He's a bit like, he has his guards up, and this is very Aries. Maybe he is a kind of, a masculine kind of Aries, an average Aries man, and also he's very young. So he's sort of, I think that him in emotions, he's like, when they ask him, how do you feel about this? He's like, he's trying to, maybe he tries to, it's like he doesn't even know himself yet, or he doesn't even know, about his love language, or he doesn't know, about like, his emotional world. He doesn't have that deepness yet. So sometimes when people maybe ask him to open up, or they ask him to show more of himself, or to be more spontaneous, or be more expressive, there's something about him being like, okay. And then he stays silent, and you're like, so, it's strange, because I also don't have any kind of a card of sorts. So maybe it has to do with communication as well. He maybe shows up, and maybe you see him, or maybe if he goes live, or if he goes to a platform of theirs to meet the fans, he shows up, you see him, he's beautiful, he's shining, but he probably stays quiet. So it feels like, his maybe social skills are still on development. I would say he still has to develop, and maybe he has a hard time, you know, um, being able to accept people's love without, because he feels the pressure of like, okay, what do I do with all this love? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to respond to this. And he just stands there, he's like, probably what he says at the most, he could say thank you. But there's something about him also, having like his guards up when it comes to how he feels. Maybe he is a very sensitive person, but there's something about maybe this industry or the company or his experience with fame that has somehow, teach him that, that fame is tough, that exposure is tough, that if you show a bit of sensitivity, you're going to regret it later. I don't know. I think that there's a certain like speech, or there's a certain teaching that he had very early in his career that he somehow took that, and he's like, oh, well, I guess I shouldn't show my vulnerable side, or I shouldn't have so much fun because I don't know, people are going to think that I'm lazy, or if I laugh too much, or if I smile too much, people are going to think that I'm weak and they're going to take advantage of me, or they're going to make fun of me. I think that he also could be a bit shy, or a bit like, I think that he doesn't know himself yet, and this is the key to this Aries season, or maybe this 2026, it's about him just showing up the way you are. People love you already. People love you when you are being yourself. And even if he has to be childish, and even if he has to be a bit, clumsy, it's okay. People love it. People love your authenticity. People love to see you when you have fun, when you open up. So you don't have to pretend, you don't have to come up with a new side of yourself to entertain people. You just have to be yourself, and just, and also accept the love. Take the love. You deserve it. You are very loved. So take it. Take it. Don't think that, oh my God, they're loving me too much. I don't know what to do with this. Just receive it. Just receive it. He's very loved also. It's just that he has a conflict with that. He doesn't know what to do. Yeah, Saturn in Cancer, charity. See, he is very sweet inside. It's just that he doesn't know how to give back. He doesn't know how to reciprocate the love, the support, the nice things, of, about his work, So maybe, charity, helping others, doing any kind of charity work, it could somehow soften him a bit and be like, oh, I get it now. I get it. I could give my love or my attention or whatever I want to give to the people that don't have much. And in there, I will feel useful, or I will feel like I'm making a difference. But I think that he could go there. He could go there. It would be very healing for him if he, maybe does a sort of donation. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to continue with Hearts2hearts Carmen. Hearts2hearts Carmen. I don't know if I read for her already. Hearts2hearts Carmen. A lot of Aries placements in the cards. Okay. The Emperor, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, the Magician, Five of Pentacles. And then I have Venus in Aries last. Is she active in the group? She feels so restricted. Is she active in the group? I think that there's a lot of restrictiveness here to this member of Heart2hearts. First of all, I see a man, a CEO. This could be, an authority figure, someone that could also be like an Aries or could be like a fire sign, someone in power that it probably gives her feedbacks, and they are really harsh on her. I would say they're really harsh on her. I think that she feels like, she doesn't get anything right, or at least it's not good enough, or it's not what they wanted. I think that mentally she's struggling a bit. We have the Nine of Swords here. She cannot sleep. She has insomnia. Yeah, she's a bit lost when it comes to. Also, probably, yeah, she's able to go on the stage and show, because she's a great entertainer, or she's great to be in the center. But, with the Five of Pentacles, it feels like, lack of self-esteem, or somehow feeling left out, or feeling like, I did great, but they called me out on this, or they said that this wasn't good enough, or they didn't include me in this activity, or they left me out. I feel like they left me out. So I think that this member of Heart2hearts, is going through a lot of like challenges. I think that she feels very sensitive to feedback, probably because she's very young, and there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. I don't know how the group is doing, Heart2hearts. I know there's a lot of members, so but I think that for her in particular, there's a man in power. There's like an authority figure that is very harsh on her. The feedback that he gives her, it leaves her feeling helpless. It leaves her like, it feels like he has something personal with her, that is always pointing things out to her in particular. So she feels like she cannot concentrate, or she feels a bit nervous, like, oh my God, like if she has like an evaluation, she's like, oh my God, this month I'm going to do worst. Or, I think that she's very sensitive. She's very sensitive. She probably, every little word that you say to her, she's very impressionable. So every little word that you say to her, it gets stuck in her mind. She doesn't forget that you told her that she didn't do that well, and I think that it has to do, probably because she is in this process of maybe, yeah, they're just starting. She is young. I don't know how long she's been in the industry, or how long the period of being a trainee has been, but she feels personally, she feels very like she's not appreciated. Probably the feedback that they do give her is very harsh. It's very harsh. At least from her perspective, she feels it like, oh my God, like this is, I suck. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. What am I going to do? And even when she goes and on a stage and she does her best, there's something about her, being left with this feeling of like, I didn't do well, or I felt like I lacked in this. Maybe she was great, and people see her and they're like, but she did amazing. But in her mind, or in her perception, she's like, no, I missed on this. So I definitely think that this year is harsh for her. It's really harsh. Especially because there's something about her, maybe, this emperor, this sort of boss or CEO of theirs, she maybe admires him very much, or he is like this important figure in her mind, so she's like, she wants him to, give her maybe a better feedback, or she wants him to really like what she does. So she feels very pressured. She feels like, oh my God, he said that I didn't do that well. So she feels like, like a prisoner. She's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It feels like she Also is very, maybe the criticism is very harsh, or the feedback, the words that they use are very harsh, and she's very sensitive. She's very young, also very impressionable, and I don't see other people, coming to somehow being like, no, it's okay. No, I think that she's just been left with this message, and this is why she, it stays in her mind, and she replays that message over and over and over. She's also very harsh on herself. I wonder if she has like a Virgo moon, or if she has like Virgo placements, because she gets paranoid very easily. If there's something mental, something intellectual, something that it gets stuck in her mind, and she cannot let it go. The potential, she does have it. She probably is like the center, or she's like, important in the group. She probably, maybe she has a lot of fans, or she carries a lot of, she has a lot of charisma, or she has a lot of, different talents. But I think that there's something about maybe how the company is managing them, that it makes her feel like, you're not giving her the right parts, or you're not giving her the right outfit, or you're not giving her what she needs, in order for her to feel part of the group. This is why I'm asking, is she in the group? Because it feels like she's so distant, so like different, but yeah, Venus in Aries is as last. So, definitely she's very passionate about, her being part of the group, her being, she doesn't regret this role that she has. She doesn't regret this. So I think that she's going to keep, this is also an Aries card. This is an Aries placement. So I think that her as this very young Aries woman, slowly she's going to get the hang of it, and instead of, feeling sorry for herself, she's going to start to get the strength, or the motivation out of, okay, I got a bad feedback, but I'm going to show you, that I really want this, or that I really can do better, because I'm a winner, because I want to do better, because I have the strength, or I have the desire, the lust for improvement, or to get this part. I want to be the center, or I want to be better, or I want to have more fans. I don't know. She has that part in her. It's just that it's still, in develop. She's still very young. So maybe these parts that of her doubting herself is also a process of her, just being very young in a very authoritarian system. This is why we have the emperor, very authoritarian people, just very rough, very a bit, I would say, aggressive, and not physically, but aggressive maybe in the way or the tone that they say things. It feels like, oh, you mess up in this, and she's like, well, okay, I guess I can explain myself, and they're like, we don't care, we want you to do better, bye. So it feels like she's like, oh my, she could probably feel a bit intimidated by this kind of CEO or whoever is, and she's like, oh my God, he's angry at me. No, this person is like this with everyone. Don't worry. So, probably he says worse things to others. So yeah, but maybe in her mind, it feels like, oh my God, he called me out on this. I'm over. Okay, I'm going to continue with Ateez Seonghwa. Ateez Seonghwa. Very nice, very emotional also, Seonghwa. Not so much like Aries energy, but I think that there's a lot of pride also. Pride of maybe his previous work, or his previous, endeavors, that he's like, I got what I wanted, or I got to do what I really wanted. 9 of Cups for him. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Temperance in the middle, the 2 of Cups, and the Chariot. I like it. I like it. And then we have Sun in Pisces that it says vision. So yeah, I think that Seonghwa, I don't know if he had, created a project for himself, or he participated on a concept or something, that it was his vision, the one that created this. So I think that definitely there's something with this card that is like, you have to keep working on that, or you have to keep working on, on developing that vision of yours, because that vision of yours is very interesting. Maybe the concept is interesting, or what you're doing with it is interesting. So just keep using it. Keep using it. This is the path for you. So use this vision, speak up, like show it to others, ask for advice, but just keep using it, because he's very artistic. He's very artistic. There's something about his artistry, or maybe his talents are slowly opening up. And he has to be very, intuitive about this. This is why we have so many cups. It's like you have to get in touch with not so much the Aries energy. I mean, the Aries energy in him is going to push him so he can continue advancing. But he needs to also connect with his sensitive side, where he, where he can actually see that vision, and maybe, fantasize a bit. I don't know, write it down, do drawings, or just, write it down on a book, or I don't know, take pictures of inspirations. I think that there's just something very interesting for Seonghwa of Ateez in 2026. And definitely, I think that it started in Pisces season. This is why we have this Pisces energy. But it is all in there. It's all open. It seems like, I don't know if you see this, we have the eye in here. So definitely, his third eye, or his vision, his perception is opening, very wide, so he can see, this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do for myself. The moment is now. He comes from feeling victorious. He's like, I did what I wanted to do, or I released what I wanted to release, and I'm so proud of myself. And now I cannot wait to show more. There's something about him being like, this is not going to be the last project of me. I'm going to continue doing this. I don't know if he wants to do like a part 2, or he wants to do like a continuation of something that he created, but he's like, I want to continue doing this. I want to keep turning, I want to keep delivering more. He feels so inspired. He feels so happy, so fulfilled. This is what I wanted. Again, someone, an Aries idol that is like, the project that I really put all myself, or my ideas, or my emotions in, I got it the way I wanted it. So I kind of want more. He's feeling also like, it's not about being, it's not about being greedy, but it's about, somehow I want to think about water. And if it's like, when the ocean opens, or when the waters start running, it feels like this, like it's never ending. So, take note, take possibilities from there, because this inspiration of yours can go all the way. It's never ending. So, keep investing in this. I like it for him. Yeah, we have the Temperance in the middle. So again, see, there's a lot of healing also in Seonghwa. I don't know if he went through, periods where he felt very, doubtful of maybe himself, or what he wanted to do, or maybe there was something that he felt like, I'm not okay, maybe mentally, emotionally. But this year he's starting to heal. He's starting to integrate, the two parts of himself, because it feels like probably he has a part where he's very bubbly, or where he's very nice and he smiles and he's kind, and then he has, the counterpart. He has his other side that he can get very moody, he can get very sensitive, he can get a bit, negative also. He has his dark side, he has his good side, and his not so good side. So there's moments where he can actually be very pessimist. So, and it's really hard for maybe the members to get him to, like, can you think positively? Sometimes when he gets in his dark mood, and you have to, take a distance from him, because there's no way. He feels like he's drowning. So you cannot interrupt him. Let him be. Let him be until he is able to come back. But I think that he's somehow, learning to integrate, his shadow and his, more positive side. And he's, healing and understanding that yeah, he's a very complex person. He's very sensitive. I think that probably fame, exposure, feeling very pressured, he needs to focus on being better himself, or being in balance, himself, or balancing his emotions. He probably worries a lot. He's much more sensitive than what people think, even though maybe his image is like, I don't know, I want to say like his image is like, oh, he's tough, or he's like the master of the universe. He's a softie. He's a very soft person. And he also, like, because we have Pisces energy here, he could be someone that he absorbs other people's energy. So sometimes, when he's struggling, he's probably not struggling because of his personal reasons. He's more struggling because the group is struggling, or, in his family, everyone is struggling, or, I don't know, in the fandom, there's someone that is not happy, so it feels, just, it feels like he gets, he needs to learn to, okay, let's separate. This is mine. This is from another person. I have to separate. I have to find my center. I have to center myself, because he doesn't have, he doesn't have Earth, and also probably he doesn't talk. I don't see swords. I don't see, I don't see Earth. So there's something about, like, he probably doesn't have like air placements or earth placement. Probably he doesn't have it. So it feels like he's always drowning in emotions. So he has to learn to find maybe, activities or something that helps him. It's like, don't lose yourself. Just stay here. And again, just like Renjun, when I read for NCT Dream Renjun, Two of Cups and the Chariot, the solution is the others. The solution is to, connect with others, talk to other people, have very meaningful and deep relationships. Just go and find your people, someone that could really see you, understand you, open up about how you're feeling, but also keep advancing, reach out to others. I think that also, if he wants to keep producing, or if he wants to keep creating something, it would be better for him to go and ask someone. If you want to collaborate, go and ask them. Don't be shy. Just take your chance. Be brave. Go and reach out for them. Tell them, I love you. I admire you. I admire your work. I want to work with you. And it will happen. It will happen for him. It will happen. He has to, there's something about the collaboration, that there's something that is open and available for him, but he has to keep advancing. He cannot stay in the fantasy of like, oh, what if I said this? No, just go and do it. Vision, focus on your vision, focus on your dreams, focus on your ideas, on your premonitions, even dreams. Just do it. Do it. Take inspiration from that. Okay. I'm going to continue with ITZY Ryunjin. Let's see for her, ITZY Ryunjin. Oh, okay. More cards. More cards than the ones that I usually pick. Oh, wow. She's feeling passionate. The Magician, Temperance, the Strength card. We have the Four of Pentacles, and we have the King of Wands, and we have the King of Swords. Whoa. And these men came, like somehow they came out extra, I would say, because I don't pull that many cards. But we have Mars in Scorpio, and it says revenge. It says revenge. So who is she going to go after? Who is she going to go after? I was going to say, wow, she feels like really zen, like she's healing, like she's like, taking over. There's a lot of major arcanas. But then I think that there's something that she's going to go against. Yeah, I think that for ITZY Ryunjin, she also has taken back her power, also her ability to be better, to feel better, to overcome. Maybe she had anxieties about, being on the stage or about being in the public or about having a comeback. There's something about her being in the spotlight or being an entertainer that maybe, she's healing from that perception that I don't think I can do it anymore, or I don't think I got this. I think that there's something about her maybe doubting her talents or her ability to, to maybe surprise people, impress people. But I think that she's healing. She's slowly, like, somehow reconciling with being on the stage, being on the spotlight, maybe going back to, take up space, somehow command the stage, take over the stage, or maybe do her part and being, showing off her talents and what she's good at. She's healing from that. Maybe she had a bit, like, could it be that she, in prior years, she had a bit of like a panic, a scene, like when you have a bit of, you go a bit, you have a bit like a panic attack when you have to go on the stage. I think that she's healing from this. She's like, she's not so nervous anymore, because she probably, struggled with something personal, but she didn't show it. She kept going, or she kept showing up, or she kept assisting to maybe award seasons, award ceremonies, or even like concerts or something like this. But it feels like she was really struggling with confidence in that sense, because we have the strengths in the middle. So it's something that she's slowly, with a lot of patience, also with a lot of inner work, maybe with the help of others, maybe, talking to other people, getting help. There's something about her slowly, calming herself down, and just like being like, we are going to be okay. We're going to be okay. It's going to take some time, but, we're going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. So she's a warrior, definitely. She's strong. It's just that there's a lot of things that also affected her experience as an idol. Maybe something happened, in the last years, that she felt a bit like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I feel like, I know what I have to do. I know my part, but I feel so anxious. I feel like I'm not enjoying this anymore. I feel so pressured. So she needed to heal that. She needed to maybe, say it out loud, accept it, like, I have this issue, or I'm having this issue. It's not easy for me. I wish I could do this like always, but there's something that internally inside myself that is stopping me. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's, a lot of unprocessed emotions, but it's just that it's tough to always show like, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay. No, you are human and things affect you. But she is slowly, taking control of her body or of her sensations. But she's also very realistic and patient about her process. She's like, well, I'm not 100% amazing, but I'm getting there. She's also probably happier. But there's something about a man, and I see too many here, that she's like, she probably is not forgiving these two men, because these ones, well, especially this one, they came, this card is an extra card. It shouldn't, it shouldn't be here. But I think that, there's there's a man, there's two men, there's a man, and there's maybe a lawyer or someone that comes after this man or that supports this man, that is like asking her to change. They're like, well, you cannot be like this anymore. You have to change, you have to adapt, you have to, and she's like, no. She's like, no, I'm not adapting. I'm doing things my way, the way I can, the way, what I have available. So you better take me for what I can give you, because, this is what I have. This is how I'm going to be working. So if you don't like it, that's your problem. I think that he has like, it's either two CEOs or it's like managers or people that are like, oh, you should be more like flexible, or you should change your ways. And she's like, no. I'm not changing. We are not changing. We are not adapting to your ways. We are giving you what we have. We are going to do what we can with what we have. We are not your puppets. We are people. And we have feelings, and we have, things that we have to process, individual challenges. So, you better take from us and from me what I can give you. I can give you till here, not more. I think that she is against maybe the company, or against the CEO, or against the management. She's so against them. She's like, you are the reason why we are like this. So now you want us to just, like you have to flexible and just dance like a monkey, because, you want us to fulfill this strange fantasy that you have about us achieving this and defeating this other group, and the other group is like, no. Just like just like when I read for Renjun, NCT Dream Renjun, be thankful that I'm here. Be thankful that I'm still showing up. Be thankful that I'm still here. So you better appreciate me, because I'm not giving you more. She's taking care of herself. She's putting herself, or in her health, or maybe the group's health, in priority. So she's like, you're not moving us. We will give you what we can give you. Hope this is good enough for you. And if it's not good enough, you know what to do. But this man comes with another person. They come with a lawyer, or they come with someone that is also very, like they are not good people. They are not, it's like in their interest, it's not the interest of like, oh, we want the girls to do better or to be okay. No, they probably want to overwork them. So she's like, no. She's like, no. This is why we have revenge, Mars in Scorpio. There's going to be a time where she's like holding on. She's like, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait. And she's going to take revenge of these people that are putting pressure on them. She's going to take revenge. She's probably like just being silent. She's going to wait for the right moment. And she's like, then I'm going to attack. When you least expect it, I'm going to attack. You will not see me coming. I'm going to take revenge. Not just for them, but for a lot of people. So she's like, she is on a mission. It's just that she's holding on. She's like, yeah, I better do not tell you what I have in mind. But she's like tired. She's like tired of being pressured all the time. She's so done. She's so done. Being on that very unhealthy system of like, well, you have to keep going. This is your life. This is what you sign up for. It's just like, no, not anymore. But she's also not leaving. There's something about her protecting her territory and her place and maybe protecting the group and being like, we are not moving. We are going to keep working and showing up, but not at the pace that you want us. Not doing all these extra things that you want us to. No. Okay, I'm going to continue with the last one, and then I'm going to go, guys, because I have a long day today. But yes, 17 Mingyu. Let's see. I'm like, I was going to be like, who is this woman? And then I got the card of romance. I'm like, why do I feel like people are not going to talk about his achievements? Rather, they're going to be talking about his love life. Oh my, fame is so strange for someone like Mingyu. It's so strange. Yeah. We have the Star card. We have the 5 of Pentacles, we have the 7 of Swords, we have the 2 of Pentacles, and we have the Queen of Swords. And then we have Venus in Taurus. It says romance. Romance. People are more interested in who he's dating than what he does. Like what he does in the group. I think that there's something just very superficial about, the way they view, maybe they view his body, or, this is why we have a Taurus card. It feels more like superficial, like the body, the beauty standard, or, oh, you look amazing, oh, you look beautiful in this, and nothing else. Yeah, because he knows this, because we have the Star and the 5 of Pentacles. So definitely, I think that he feels like he's not appreciated enough. Like definitely, the Star potential and him, having all these eyes on him and him being popular. Maybe, he's like, yeah, I got this, but at the same time, I feel like, either they don't take me seriously, or when they give me a project, is not that appreciated, or maybe when maybe it has to do with his work or with his solo work. I don't know if he has solo works, but whatever work that he's involved, it doesn't do very well. There's something about numbers. The numbers are not. He's still a star. He's still amazing. He's still shining, but probably the numbers in comparison to others are not that. That abundant, I would say. So I think that he has also this weird sort of like experience with fame, because he's like, well, I didn't do that well with the numbers, but at the same time, people want to see me. And they ask me, or they invite me to these shows, or they invite me to these events, and I show up and everyone is happy to see me. So, he is like the stardom, he does have it always. It's just that when it comes to numbers, maybe the numbers are not a true representation of his fame. There's something that is like, oh, he's like in popularity, he's this high, but in numbers, he's this. So it feels uneven. It feels like it is not real. Or maybe if there's like solo stands, or if there's people that they swear that they love him, it's more like they love to see him. They love to see him in magazines, or they love to see him or his pictures. But when it comes to his work, they don't contribute that much, or they don't support it. So yeah. Yeah, we have the Seven of Swords. So I think that the Mingyu's energy feels very interesting. Um, he could, he could be, running away from something. I think that he is not running away. He's like sort of evading reality a bit. He probably is trying to have fun, or he's trying to live his life, or he's trying to enjoy himself. So there's something about him escaping a bit, maybe responsibilities, or him is escaping certain things. He's like, well, or he has to answer to something, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to go the other way. Or maybe he talks to the fans, he tells the fans something, and then he does the opposite. So it feels like he's like playing, he's like, evading certain things. Maybe the way he communicates in this year, it can be a bit elusive, like, are you hiding something from us? Are you not telling us something? I think that he's just like, he's trying to survive in this industry. I think that probably there's a lot of people that want to bring him down. So he's like protecting himself. He's like being elusive on purpose. He's sort of confusing people on purpose. He's probably giving people also false information, I would say. He's like nor confirming nor denying. He's like, I gotta go. Bye. I gotta go. Bye. It feels like he doesn't want to get attached to anything. So maybe, if there's rumors, or if there's people are very focused. This is what I want to say. People are really focused. I don't know if there's some dating rumors, if people are like, he's dating this person, because he's like trying to evade being caught, or having to have to talk about this. Even he's like, no, not again, not that subject again. He wants to break free from the conspiracies. So he's also like, maybe he's also playing with people. He's like, yeah, I'm telling you this, but actually I'm lying, and I'm not, it's not true. But he's trying to evade I want to say getting caught, because it feels like people want to possess him, or they don't want him to be free. They don't want him to enjoy himself. They don't want him to be a man of his age. They want Mingyu in a cage. And he's not. He's a free spirit. He's a man of his age. He's a free spirit. He's enjoying his life. He's enjoying his freedom now. There's something also about, probably he knows that, this sort of liberty or freedom or space that he's having right now, he's not going to have it all the time. So he's making the most of this, and people try to ruin it from him. Yeah, because there's this woman. There's a woman. We have the two. We have the Two of Pentacles, and we have this Queen of Swords. So could it be that could someone come up and be like, I was with him, or I was his girlfriend, or I dated him, or something like this? Because, I see someone that is a talker. Someone that is like, I'm going to, I don't know, create a TikTok about like, how I met you, and we had this encounter, and actually, it wasn't even an encounter. It was more like I was passing by and you were there. Or the interaction was very brief. Or it was like, yeah, I happened to be there and you were there. But maybe this could be like an influencer or someone like this that is somehow playing also with information. She's also playing with information, or with people wanting to know. And she's like, yeah, it could be him, but no, I'm not going to say anything. But it's like, you're talking about him. And he knows this. He knows. Or maybe he had seen it online. So he's like, but yeah. Venus in Taurus, romance. I think that probably, this year could be the year of romance for Mingyu. It could be that he starts a relationship. It's just that I don't think that it's with someone like this. I don't think that it's with this kind of person that is like, oh, I'm going to tell everyone about you. I'm going to create content about how I met you. No, it's more like, a potential romance, a healthy romance. This is why I think that he's sort of evading toxic girls. Maybe he has a type, maybe he has a type of girl, but he's like, as soon as he realizes that you pull up the phone, or that you're with the phone, or that you're with the phone, he's like, oh, you're an internet girl, somehow like this. You're an internet girl and you want to leak information about me, you want to record me, or you want to do this. And he's like, oh no, not you. But yeah, there could be a lot of focus on who he's dating. Yeah, definitely. I think that romance is in 2026 for him, but in this energy, I don't think it is like, oh, is love with whoever says something online. No, it's just certain encounters that is like more like coincidences than, oh, he's dating. I think that people are like, oh, but there he was, and a couple of meters away, there she was, another famous, person. And he's like, I was just passing by. I just happened to be there. I had to be there because it's my work. And people are speculating. But I think that this could be the year of romance for him. I think that he wants to be in a relationship, but he doesn't want to be in a relationship with, this kind of person that would expose everything on the internet, especially of something so unserious and so, so short-lived, like, oh, we met once, like, no. He probably also has seen it, that this usually happens to other male idols, that when they are at the place or when they are at the event, people try to, oh, he was seen with this woman, or he was seen talking to this woman. So he's like, I know you want to do this to me. So this is why I'm sort of escaping people, but yeah, it's tiring. It's very tiring to be him, I think that is very tiring. About work, I don't see something, but yeah, that's all I see. Okay. Hey, Samara. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, I cannot see anything. I have to get glasses, honestly, but yeah. After I'm done taking care of my dad and know everything that I'm doing, I'm going to focus on my eyes because I need glasses. So I need to rest. Like every time I'm with the phone, I feel like my eyes get a bit watery. But yeah, this was all for the Aries idols for today that I have. I done mostly of them. So yeah, probably on Wednesday I'm going to make the most to make it. So I can do the readings for the Chinese actors that I have pendant. And yeah, because I don't want to, I don't want to have pendants. The Chinese actors, I do have them. I have the list for a while, so yeah, I want to do that so it doesn't get, So next Sunday, if everything goes well and I go live, I can do another readings differently, or continue with other Aries artists, or we are just starting Aries season. So yeah, thank you guys for being here, for stopping by. Hey, Alexis. Thank you for the recommendations. So yeah, hope that you have a lovely week. Take care of yourselves, and I see you on Wednesday, okay? Bye.